Yetta, I just love math.
I know you do.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.
We've created for you free access to over 603 Inside Track episodes on our YouTube Dekker Team channel that provide insights on real estate, insider tips, making house home, building wealth, and simple whole living. You get exactly what you need when you need it from the comfort of your home, office, or even on the go. So this session, we're going to talk about and explore how a P&L compares to a cash flow statement. What's the difference and how do you use them?
So P&L, you're connecting to business, and cash flow is what we would call the same basic document.
Yeah.
Inside a personal finance.
Right.
So this could be a little bit confusing for you if you're listening right now, because you're saying you're using two different terms, but you're saying they're the same thing. Essentially, they are. There's just different terms used, whether we're talking our personal finances or whether we're talking our business finances.
Right.
And not everybody has a business. And if you have a business, you're probably very familiar with these forms and these terms and this process, because without it, you can't track your business and you won't be having one.
Yeah, and there's really three levels. Like, if you're in a corporation, a for-profit corporation, you're going to talk about a P&L, a profit or loss. It's called profit and loss statement, but it's because some months you might have a loss, other months you might have a profit. Now, if you're in a not-for-profit, they call it a surplus or a shortfall, right? It's not really a profit or loss because you're not about profit. And then in your personal life, I like to call it a spending plan. And then as you monitor your spending plan, that's where your cash flow or cash usage statement comes from, right? Your budget is your spending plan. Your cash flow statement actually shows whether you followed your budget or not.
Well, and doesn't it also show, like sometimes a spending plan, if I look at my whole month, I know I'm going to be fine at the end of the month. I can see that it's a zero budget. We've explained that in just a few minutes ago. And the cash flow shows whether the cash is coming in at the right time to cover the expense as well.
Yeah, you can do a future cash flow statement because, for instance, in our real estate business, we have more income typically in the summer months or the fall and summer and spring than we do in the winter and months. So we may be short in the December, January, February, where we're spending more on heating and hydro and food and whatever.
In our personal business.
Because we're not bringing in as much income those months because people don't buy as much real estate those months, right? So we may actually lose money. Well, spend more than we earn, not lose money, but spend more than we earn. And so a cash flow projection says, I've got the cash in the bank to handle those lean months. And then when we hit the surplus months, we build that cash reserve back up.
Right. And if you're in more of a steady income coming in on a consistent basis,
it's a lot easier.
Well, it's easier. However, in a given month or a given day in the month, if your mortgage payment comes out on a given day, but you haven't yet gotten your paycheck that day, you might want to adjust some of your payment dates because there's a cash flow crunch, but by the end of the month, you'd be totally good.
So your account may be going negative and then back positive and negative. And so you're paying all these fees for overdraft or whatever, and it wasn't really necessary. All you needed to do was adjust your payment dates so that they lined up with your pay dates, right? If you're like on a bi-weekly pay or something, what you don't want is your mortgage, if you have a car payment, your car payment and all your Visa bills and everything coming at the same week.
Right.
Because you haven't been paid for the month yet.
Right. And I think the cash flow statement is probably one that is ignored even more than the spending plan. Right? Because it's so easy not to think about. I can actually massage. You can't necessarily choose when your Visa payment is due or your different statements,
No.
but you can certainly adjust things like mortgage dates. You can often, or you can build a surplus so that you always have lots sitting there. But if you're writing a tight budget, you may either have to save up some money first so you have emergency money that allows you to have the cash flow crunch not address you or like affect you,
Right.
or figure out how you can play with the dates of when things come out to align with when you get paid.
And most lenders will adjust that. There'll be an interest charge for a period or whatever, but they may delay your payment or move it forward or whatever so that you can balance out your money inflow and outflow, right?
Right.
It's like your well. You never want to run out of well water, right?
Okay.
You never want to run out of cash.
You really don't.
No. And when I say cash, it means money in the bank.
Right.
Because not too many people are running around with cash.
Not too much anymore. So if you're thinking, hey, you're confusing me more than you're helping me, we're sorry. And sometimes it has to get messy before it gets easy. Sometimes it sounds simple when we don't know much. Then when we learn a fair bit, it sounds really crazy complex. And then the reality is it gets simple again once you have digested it and figured it out.
Right. And if you think, hey, money is boring and it's confusing, and well, pick up a copy of The Wealth Formula that Yetta and I wrote. It's an excellent book written as a story. It's very easy read. You go through the life of a couple and they meet a mentor, and it really starts to spell out why money is so important.
Well, and how to navigate with it. Right.
And so what you can do is you can either pick up a copy at our office at 5 Corvus Court, just pop in.
Well, make sure we're there.
Yeah.
Let us know you're coming.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear from you anyway. So together at dekkerteam.com, if you want to arrange a time to pick up a copy, because it'll save you some taxes and it'll save you shipping.
Yeah, we're still going to pay the taxes, but we're going to reduce the price of the book a little. And, you can pick it up and we might even sign it. And then
if you ask us to.
If you, the other way is to go on Amazon. You can download it as a Kindle book, or you can get a print copy from amazon.ca. So let's go back to this profit and loss. It's weird to talk about a profit and loss in your personal finances, but it's so, so important. It's really looking back at the last 30 days or 31 days, depending on how big the month is. How'd we do? Did we spend more than we earned? Did we spend less than we earned? That's really, in a nutshell, what a profit and loss statement does.
Cash flow
puts you
statement.
into control.
You just changed the word again.
Well,
from cash flow.
To me, they're the same.
They are the same. So the reason I'm highlighting it is if you're like me, it took me a really long time to grasp that they were the identical document, just for different purposes. So cash flow for my personal, profit or loss really for my business.
And maybe you need a family meeting once a month on the 3rd or 4th of the month, and you look at last month and how did you do? Yeah. So B.T. Barnum said, money is a terrible master and it's an excellent servant. So together we're clarifying your options, because when your options are clear, your wisdom will flow.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.